Good day, dear colleagues. My name is Nargiza Raskulova. I'm from Kyrgyzstan. I'm Fulbright TI alumni 2021. I'm student of MAT program, Master of Arts in Teaching. I study at American University of Central Asia, and my field was social science. This year, I'm completing my GRP, and the topic of my GRP was game-based learning in teaching the English language in rural areas of the country. Why I have chosen this topic? Because nowadays most international companies, they hire employers, and there is a great competition. Does the employee know English foreign language, and do they have soft skills? Of course, I would like to see more as an English language teacher. I would like to see more Kyrgyz citizens from secondary schools in top international companies. But from 2017, the education of Minister of Education in Kyrgyzstan and adding hours to secondary schools English hours, but still to motivate young learners in rural areas of the country is becoming so hard, so challenging. So my research question was, what is the scope of game-based learning in rural schools of Kyrgyzstan? According to this topic, I have read various researchers' articles, research papers, and they were language games come from different aspects and different angles. And mostly topics were about the types of the games, advantages, disadvantages, the role of culture in organizing games, the role of digital games in language learning, and the role of games in early childhood. How from early childhood games played an important role. Vygotsky, Chudakov, Bornstein, they have several so many interesting articles about this. According to this various researchers' work, I have created my conceptual framework. My conceptual framework was culture, gender, teacher strategies, shape, game-based learning. And through game-based learning, we can gain motivation, practice, various skills, and of course, positive classroom environment. So I have created context and research method. My research method was a qualitative method. It was interview. I have taken to my interview 4 public schools and 1 private school in Kerben. Kerben, it's in rural small town, Aksar region in southern part of Kyrgyzstan, who were 5 teachers, 5 English teachers, and interview why I have chosen to identify how English language teachers promote game-based learning. All the female interviewers were female, as we have no, in this Kerben, male English language teachers. And I have, after giving the several of questions, research, sub-questions, I have find my findings. The main findings were 4 findings. The first of all, this is really good practicing English learning environment, because it's hard in daily life to create English learning environment. This is the first finding. Second is gaining 21st century skills. Games not only practice the language for skills, also it helps to shape 21st century skills. The third finding was promote students' engagement in the classroom, and of course were challenges in organizing game-based learning. First finding, games requirements of only practice English promotes deeper interaction. Teacher 2 stated that through games, students experience communication, collaboration in a more relaxed setting. And in such an informal setting, they can exchange their ideas, opinions, knowledge, and they have more deeper interaction than daily life. In daily life, we cover the content, what we want to teach. And the second find, game-based learning develops creativity, decision-making, critical thinking, and communicative skills. Third finding, game-based learning promotes students' engagement in the classroom. If they are not native speakers, they create very enjoyable and interesting environment in the classroom. When they make even mistake, they don't laugh, they don't correct their mistakes. They learn English language through enjoyable environment. And of course, there were several challenges. First challenge was aligning the games with learning objectives. For example, if I want to teach grammar, it's always hard to find according to my objective, grammar games. Finding resources and appropriate materials. It was the second challenge. And the third was emotional, physical tiredness after using games. Some students are very competitive and some of them became aggressive. The cause sometimes leads to conflicts, misunderstanding, and it's sometimes hard to control the class discipline after the games. Teacher 4 stated, so it's not always easy. And of course, in my discussion, I have written about effective practice. They practice grammar, vocabulary, speaking, adapting English speaking environment. They develop skills, positive environment, of course, the role of digital games in modern technology, because digital games through language, they motivate teachers' decision making and better learn language. And the challenges were organizing games alignment with objectives of the lesson, because there are different kind of learners. When we organize game, we should consider students' interest and interest and the learning style. Limitations and recommendations. If I had the chance to continue my research paper, the number of participants, I would like to take not only 5, I would like to take more. The number of schools, not only 5, more than 5. And I would like to include not all English, but other subject teachers like math, physics, and other content teachers. How they use games. Do they use? If they use, how? Is it motivates them or not? And to interview not only teachers, but as well as students. And recommendations, of course, to adapt game-based learning according to students' level and their interest. Develop social and cognitive skills. It helps cooperation and communication. To align with learning objectives, not to use games just for fun, for killing time, but with learning objectives and to use with educational purpose. And my future research agenda was including other measuring instruments, not only qualitative method, but I would like to add more like quantitative survey, observation, and so on. And involving other stakeholders, investigating other rural schools in southern and northern part of country, not only southern, but other. Thanks for your attention. Welcome. If you have questions, please welcome to ask.